probably can't hear the birds in my video, but they are so beautiful in the morning. We'll call this episode 1, since the last one was called my introduction. I hit lightly on the reason I'm sharing my journey in my introduction, but today I'd like to focus a little bit more on the why. For anyone to make a change in their life, the why has to be defined and important to them. I used to be a little envious of my colleagues and friends as they took time to exercise and eat right. I'm sorry for that, and I hope that that never came across in my demeanor. I was always full of excuses for why I couldn't do that. I had to be at work too early, stay up too late. I was already getting up so early that adding more time onto my day was a torture I didn't want to feel. I realize now that I just wasn't committed enough to being the best me I could be. And now I realize that to be a better person for others, I have to be a better person for me. I can't help someone else if I can't help myself. I can't convey compassion and love for others if I can't love who I am. Now, most people who know me are wondering where this is going at this point, because I've always been in front of people. I've always been a leader in a leadership position, even in high school and college. I was the drum major of both my high school and college marching bands. I went to school to be a teacher, and if you are a teacher and you don't think you are leading people, think again. In my particular field, I direct an ensemble every day in my day job. So what is this about not loving who I am? Don't mistake loving who you are for self-confidence. I have and don't think it's the same. I am confident that I can teach music to young minds so that they can put an excellent performance on. I am confident that my compassion for music is evident when I'm asking my students to perform their music in a certain way. But what I've come to realize over the last 3, almost 4 months, is that I am struggling to convey how deeply I care for my students, care for them as human beings. I think the level of intensity I've cultivated among my ensembles and musicals is to put on a better performance than the one before has been driven incorrectly. Don't think that I'm going to begin accepting mediocre work from my students. I am not. I am, however, going to work on the place within myself that those expectations come from. Changing my lifestyle is much deeper than my physical appearance. It should be much deeper than anyone's physical appearance. And as I've touched on before, this change for me is both physical and mental and also spiritual. One of my favorite authors is James Jordan. He's also a choral conductor at Westminster University. Right now, I've touched on this in other things that I've mentioned on Facebook. I'm reading his book, The Musician's Spirit. I'm sure I will share more about this later on. And now to tackle the looming question, why now? Why, when I'm 53 years old, have I suddenly decided it's time to change my lifestyle, to press the pause button and reconnect? I believe in my heart the answer is all about time. Timing. It's the right time for me. I mentioned that I've begun to find deeper meaning in my spiritual life over the past few years. I've tried to comprehend why I've always believed in God. Reading, listening, and praying, these are just some of the things that I've done to try to figure this out. Many of my conversations with God have been something like, isn't there more to life than getting up, going to work, earning a paycheck so I can pay my bills, help my kids, and hopefully have a little left over to do something fun? One of my prayers has very simply been, Dear Lord, when the time is right, show me how to use my talents to have more purpose and more meaning in life. Time. This COVID-19 pandemic has been horrendous. It has been horrendous for so many people, families that have lost loved ones, frontline workers, nurses, doctors, the doctors and the nurses who have died helping other people to live. But if not for this pause, I don't think I would be at this point ready to make a lifestyle change. My husband's and my job are very stressful and intense, probably partly that we make it that way. We'll get more into that some other time. But the point is, it took the first month of teaching from home, to decompress. We just finished our pep band and show choir seasons. The biggest home show of our year had just taken place the week before, and the day before in-person contact was shut down, we had hosted a mattress fundraiser for the music program. Then, the physical ramifications of sheltering at home began to hit. I have Hashimoto's disease, which basically means I have an underactive thyroid. My body was beginning to behave even worse than previously, and I hurt so bad. I had to do something. So Patch, that's the dog, and I took to walking after just a few days of being at home. My eating habits kept deteriorating though, so even though the walking was getting me up and moving, keeping me from really gaining weight, it wasn't helping me with my aching muscles and joints or the fact that I could fall asleep in any chair. My allergies were awful. I wheezed and sounded like I must have COVID-19. In May, a good friend began a healthy eating group on Facebook and sent me an invite. I accepted it immediately. I can't express how thankful I am for that invite, for her thinking of me. We're 4 weeks in, and as of this entry, I've lost 14 pounds. My aches and pains are so much better, and my energy level has rebounded to a level I really can't remember having. I'm not a fatalist, but I do think events in our lives happen for a reason, and that God's hand is ever present with plans for us that we cannot, as earthly beings, comprehend. Perhaps this is the meaning in my life I've been speaking with him about. There are blessings in everything, but we have to be willing to look for them. So, there you have it. All of this is why I am here where I am today in this journey. Stay tuned for how I've started down the trail and how I hope to continue. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks, everyone, and may your day be blessed.